Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Hereafter we are going to discuss regarding some important organs of our body. So today I am here with the contents of brain. The brain is one of the largest and most complex organ in the human body. It is made up of more than 100 billion nerves that communicate in trillions of connections called synapses. The brain is made up of many specialized areas that work together. The cortex is the outermost layer of brain cells. The brain stem is between the spinal cord and the rest of the brain. The basal ganglia are a cluster of structures in the center of the brain, and the cerebellum is at the base and back of the brain. The cerebellum is responsible for coordination and balance. The brain is also divided into several lobes like frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe. The brain is surrounded by a layer of tissues which is known as meninges. Here are some clinical notes related to brain. Anterior cerebral artery syndrome. The anterior cerebral artery syndrome occurs when there is an interruption of the blood flow in one of the anterior cerebral arteries. The middle cerebral artery syndrome. Middle cerebral artery syndrome occurs when the blood flow within the main trunk of one of the middle cerebral arteries is interrupted. Posterior cerebral artery syndrome. Posterior cerebral artery syndrome occurs when there is an obstruction of the blood flow through the calcarean branch of the posterior cerebral artery. Watershed stroke. A watershed stroke is defined as a brain ischemia that is localized to the vulnerable borders between the tissue supplied by the anterior, posterior and the middle cerebral arteries. Broca's aphasia. Broca's aphasia, otherwise known as motor aphasia. It is associated with the damage to the Broca's area in the inferior frontal gyrus of the left hemisphere. Vernix aphasia. Vernix aphasia is also known as a sensory aphasia, which is associated with the damage to the vernix area in the left parietal lobe. Prosopagnosia. The term prosopagnosia refers to as face blindness or the inability to recognize faces despite being able to describe their characteristics. Here are some tests related to brain disorders like computed tomography, magnetic resonance imaging, that is MRI, angiography, magnetic resonance angiography, lumbar puncture, electroencephalogram, neurocognitive testing, brain biopsy, etc. And also some brain treatment which include thrombolytics, antiplatelet agent, cholinesterase inhibitors, antibiotics, levodopa, brain surgery, ventriculostomy, craniotomy, lumbar drain, etc. The blood supply, there are two paired arteries which are responsible for the blood supply to the brain, the vertebral arteries and the internal carotid artery. Here are some fun facts about your brain. The first one, 60% of the human brain is made up of fat. The second one, your brain is not fully formed until age 25. Third one, your brain storage capacity is considered virtually unlimited. The fourth one, brain information travels up to an impressive 268 miles per hour. Fifth one, on average, your spinal cord stops growing at 4 years of old. Sixth one, it is a myth that you only use 10% of your brain, but you actually use all of it. Yes, even when you are sleeping also. Neurologists confirm that your brain is always active. And the seventh one, the human brain weighs 3 pounds. Eighth one, a brain freeze is really a sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. Ninth one, the human brain can generate about 23 watts of power, enough to power a light bulb. And the 10th one, a piece of brain tissue the size of a grain of sand contain 1 lakh neurons and 1 billion synapses. That's all today. See you on the next day. Thank you.